Hello, listeners and viewers. Welcome to the first ever live recorded podcast segment of Behind the Numbers Reimagining Retail. This is the show where we discuss how retail collides with every part of our lives. I'm your host, Sarah Lebo, and today I am excited to share the host seat with none other than the host of Behind the Numbers and the Weekly Listen. It's Marcus Johnson. Hey, Marcus, thanks for co-hosting with me.
Hello. Of course, it's my pleasure. As soon as the camera came on, I realized I was all the way over here. So I'm going to try to. There we are. Now I'm in the
It's
middle.
okay. Our plants are they're like one plant now.
How are you?
I am well. How are you doing?
Terrific. It's good to see you got back from LA because you were stuck there, kind of.
Yeah. I was at e-tail in Palm Springs this week. It was great. Learned a lot about brands. Got a little bit stuck in Palm Springs, but that's all right. If you're going to get stuck somewhere,
There was
place
no
to get stuck.
sun.
Well, okay. So I was just sort of saying that to sound nice. It was the coldest it's been there and
Yeah,
hailing.
it's
But
awful. LA with no sun is like fries without mayonnaise. I don't want to see it.
Well, what? Is that what fries are served with?
I think it's safe to say that we've lost our American audience already. However, our Belgian and French audience just leaned in a bit closer. Said, tell me more.
We have to keep going, but I do like fries with vinegar. That one I'm into.
That's fine.
So for today's episode, we're doing things a little differently because it's been such an informative day and everyone here has sat on panels about the onlook for retail media, the outlook for retail media, CTV, social, data, etc. We thought a great way to wind down the fun would be to play a game. What do you think, Marcus?
I hate games. However, someone who loves games and takes them unnecessarily seriously is none other than the Behind the Numbers podcast regular and our VP of content, who we welcome in now, the infamous Suzy Davidkhanian.
Oh my God, I'm so excited to be here. Be ready.
Thanks for joining us, Suzy. Are you ready for friendly competition? Emphasis on friendly.
Obviously, I'm super ready. I'm going to win, so I don't even know why we're playing the game.
Here we go again. It's happening already.
Everybody should know that I was asked to talk it up. Just for the record, this is not truly me.
Not asked to do that.
Yeah.
Suzy, down a bit. It's too much.
Suzy's never asked me if we can reward her for winning.
That's okay, that maybe we have, but
Marcus,
I want to win a championship belt.
What
championship belt?
You're asking about the prize already?
Yeah, obviously.
Okay.
Marcus, tell us how the game's gonna work.
There's probably definitely not a prize, but the game will work like this. So we've handpicked a collection of elite analysts from throughout the galaxy, New York, Chicago, and Austin mainly, to face off against the ultra competitive Suzy in a battle for the ages. The unreasonably competitive Suzy will face one analyst per round. It's just 1 point up for grabs per round. So it's a best of three. We ask a question. Whoever's response is closest to the actual answer wins the point. It's Suzy versus the analysts. The team with the most points wins. That's how it goes.
And Marcus will personally be buying the winner a jar of mayonnaise for their fries.
Okay, fine. Deal. Hellman's, though.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, Heinz, you do some good ketchup. I don't want to see your mayonnaise, okay? I don't want to see it. All right, Sarah, first challenger is a regular contributor. Oh, have I gone too fast? Is there other stuff?
I just wanted to encourage the audience to play along with us. So let us know where you're tuning in from in the chat. Mm-hmm. And you can do that using the chat window on the right. We'd love to hear where you're tuning in from and ask us questions. So with that, who are we bringing out as our first contestant going up against Suzy?
Also, any feelings on mayonnaise and
vinegar,
fries? Put that. Leave that. Keep them to yourself. But the rest you can put in the chat. Okay, first contender, first challenger is on team other people is a regular contributor to the Insider Intelligence's Behind the Numbers Reimagining Retail podcast, based out of Illinois, with the highest ceilings in all the land. Much to Victoria, who edits the podcast's consternation. It's our senior analyst of retail and e-commerce, Zach Stambor. Hey, Zach.
Hey, guys. I'm in my basement now, though, so the ceilings are
finally
lower. Yeah.
He's getting ready to try and win. That's why he changed his setup.
Zach, how confident are you feeling?
I'm actually a little nervous, I gotta say.
You shouldn't be. You're going against Suzy.
Zach, I'm mad at you already because University of Illinois beat Michigan in college basketball this weekend, and
Double
I've
overtime.
decided to be upset with you about it.
Good game.
It was a great game.
Can I ask who's scoring?
I knew that was coming up soon.
Obviously.
It took, 10 seconds? Sarah can score. You don't trust me to score games, so
correct.
Sarah can keep the score of potential 3 points.
Sarah's going to keep the score, and our friends helping us out back will keep me honest.
Yes.
Sounds perfect. Wait, there's only a total of 3 points?
Yes.
Oh, okay. It's so much pressure.
Suzy.
It's a lot of pressure.
Yep. Just 3 points is 1 point per round.
Okay.
No overtime.
Yeah. No double overtime. Absolutely. Okay. So first question, context for our first question. So it's about economic uncertainty. So economic uncertainty is at an all-time high, which you are all, I'm sure, highly aware of. Consumer confidence is falling, and shoppers aren't foregoing quality when it. Oh, no, excuse me. That's not true. Shoppers are pinching pennies wherever they can. However, Kearney Consumer Institute reports that shoppers aren't foregoing quality when it comes to purchasing, and that the idea of trading down implies a loss in quality for the sake of saving on price. There's also the angle of brand loyalty here, and how strong brands can keep their consumer happy by continuing to provide the quality people crave. And we at Insider Intelligence, our wonderful forecasting team, report that 86% of consumers say loyalty programs influence them to buy from brands again. And Zippia Research reports that brand loyal customers will spend 67% more with that brand than a new customer. With that said, the question is, what percentage of consumers are still purchasing the same goods and services they always do, despite overall rising costs? According to the Kearney Consumer Institute. That question one more time. What percentage of consumers are still purchasing the same goods and services they always do, despite overall rising costs? So folks listening in, watching in, is that a thing? What do you think it could be? So it's a percentage that we're looking for. Suzy, I'll take your answer first.
35%.
Okay. And Zach?
45.
Okay.
Oh my God, this is the worst part.
The suspense. What do you folks think who are listening in? It gives me great pleasure to say that Zach is correct, because the answer is 64%. 64% of folks are still purchasing the same goods and services they always do, despite overall rising costs.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Gotta say, neither of us were very close.
No. And you know what? I think it might depend on the items, right? So like if you're buying jeans, maybe you're okay with spending whatever you were spending on them because they're going to last longer.
Mm-hmm.
But if you're buying, cookies, maybe you're okay with the private label, because technically all the private label nowadays is higher quality than ever before.
Right. How much of this is people just having more money than they did before because of the pandemic? How much of this is this being a lower of a dip of a recession, this a lot of folks still having a job, the unemployment rate still being very, very low? How much of it is that versus the lipstick effect and people wanting to continue to buy things to make them feel good during a downturn?
So I actually think it's something completely different in that spending is starting to come down. There are a lot of mixed headlines on that. The lipstick effect is when people are really stopping to spend, but they're going to still buy a lipstick or a fragrance or something that's not expensive, but that's going to make them happy. Mm-hmm. Whereas now we're saying 65% of people, according to the Kearney Institute of Consumer Research, I don't remember what it's called.
Kearney Consumer Institute. Mm-hmm.
Right. So they're saying 65-ish% of people are still buying the same products and services as before. Mm-hmm. the savings rate is going down, but people are borrowing more, even though interest rates are higher. So I think a lot of that is just going on credit. I think people are just maybe not ready yet to say, yep, it's a recession, so I'm going to stop spending. They're just going on about their day as they had before, and it'll catch up with them. And then that's when it'll really tank and people will really stop to spend because they can't afford to pay back their loans.
Zach, you agree?
Yeah, somewhat. People are still spending quite a bit. I mean, spending was up, I think, 6.4% year over year in January. And so even with inflation, people are still keeping pace and, spending on plenty of stuff, even if they're trading down here and there.
Mm-hmm. Well, Zach, you managed to snag the first point of the game. So it's 1-0. Suzy, did you hear that? Do you want me to repeat the... Sarah, what are the quick
Yeah,
rules
can you
with
please
Sarah
repeat
on the
that?
scores?
I am Suzy. I'm rooting for you.
Thank you.
But you are losing right now.
Yeah, it's fine. I wanted to give the other people team. Is that what we're calling?
We're calling them.
Yep.
There's a name for them, but I don't.
official name.
The analyst team, Suzy
The
versus
other people.
everyone.
Yep.
Wanted to give them a shot, so they weren't super discouraged.
Suzy answered 35%. Zach answered 45%. I think that those are what you guys answered, which means that Zach is our winner for round 1. Congrats, Zach.
Good job, Zach.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. Are we saying goodbye to Zach? Zach, I think we're saying goodbye to you now.
Okay.
We're subbing in someone else to play the next round. But thank you so much for hanging out, mate.
Hi, Sky.
She's here.
Hi.
Oh, there she is. Wow, that's quick.
All right. So, Suzy, your next competitor is another friend of the Reimagining Retail podcast based out of Texas. It's senior analyst Sky Canavas. Hey, Sky.
Hey, Sarah. Hey, Marcus. Hey, Suzy.
Hi.
Hello.
Welcome to the arena of the retail.
Competition.
Welcome to the retail arena.
The very competitive retail arena.
Yeah, brace yourself.
I mean, Sky, you're just as competitive. Come on.
Not true.
That is Sky's run multiple marathons in a row.
And backwards.
She's
and by
incredibly
that I mean
talented.
front
I
and
don't know if
back.
she's as competitive though. But you ran the first one in the dark when no one was around, so no one even saw it. That's how humble she is,
Yeah.
Suzy. She doesn't even care who's out there
Marcus,
watching.
come
She
on.
does it.
Personal bragging rights.
Yeah.
I'm going to embarrass Sky, or maybe not, on what she did, which is that she got to the Boston Marathon early, started at the finish line, ran to the start line, and then got to the start line as it was starting and ran the marathon with everyone.
I mean, I can't even run a block, so let's be honest.
All right. So with knowing that Sky has been training.
Yes.
All right. We're gonna jump into the next question. So here's some context for this question. The circular economy is making a huge impact on retailers. Suzy's gasping because Sky writes about the
This is
circular
like
economy.
Sky's world. Let's just give them a point. We don't even need to do this question. Let's do 0-2.
The circular economy is making a huge impact on retailers while carving out its own lucrative path. And this boom is mainly driven by millennials and Gen Z. Younger generations have redefined consumption from economic, social, and environmental standpoints with the help of marketplaces like ThredUp and Poshmark. We report that more new brands are tapping into the resale market. Brands like Nike, Lululemon, Home Depot, and IKEA, they've all sort of tapped into their own resale market. And that the strategy of launching resale divisions internally is a good way to attract young customers and forge customer loyalty by keeping those products within the brand's ecosystem. So, with that in mind, your question is, according to ThredUp, what percentage of millennials and Gen Z say they consider the resale value of an apparel item before purchasing? To repeat that again, according to ThredUp, what percentage of millennials and Gen Z say they consider the resale value of an apparel item before purchasing it? I'm going to ask our listeners to give their guesses in the chat. And Sky, tell us what you think.
Oh, this is a tough one because I know the number for this data on luxury from our own consumer survey back in June, which was like 9%. And that was from consumers overall. So I'm going to say for fashion in general, among the younger consumer group, it's a little bit higher, even though a lot of what they're buying may not be that resellable when they're buying things like fast fashion. But we still see a lot of fast fashion brands getting into this space. I'm going to put it at like 35%.
All right, 35%. Suzy, what do you think?
Well, that was really helpful because I was going to put it at 12. But after the discussion that you just had, I think I'm even going to go lower and say 5 because you're right. I think for the younger folks, they're not buying Chanel bags to worry about whether it's going to be resellable or not. They're buying Zara and they're thrifting, right? And these are brands we love: Zara, H&M, even Shein has a new marketplace of selling old goods. So I can't imagine that they're worried about what the future cost is. So I'm going to go, I'll just go with 10%, just to be round number.
Okay, so Sky said 35% of Gen Z and millennials consider resale value. Suzy said 10%. What'd you say? 10%?
Yeah.
5%? 10%.
I'll go with 10 because my original was 12. So I'll go with 10.
All right. And the answer from ThreadUp is 46%.
Stop.
Oh,
Marcus, stop
Marcus is dying because I'm so far below.
Yeah, that's
Guys,
inside
you
of
asked me to
me.
be entertaining. Come on.
I'm in that demographic and I don't consider resale value, but I also mostly buy resale, so I don't know if I count.
So 45% of
46,
the ThreadUp survey takers. So we're going to have to assume their sample size was great. And so it's the general population is accurate. Of the Gen Z and millennials, think about if they're going to be able to resell their Zara jeans from $10 to $15.
Yeah, I think this highlights like how much the mindset around younger consumers is changing from fashion as something you buy and then have to get rid of somehow or other, to fashion as something that you buy and use and then return into circulation. So it's really a new way of thinking about the circular economy and what consumption is.
Yeah, I mean, the circular economy is definitely like its own rich marketplace. It's not just like an afterthought of standard retail.
Right. And so many more brands, especially in fashion, are getting into this. I think ThreadUp, they have a Recommerce 100 report that looks at the top fashion brands engaged in resale. And that number grew by something like more than 200% over the last couple of years. It's up to like 125. And these are brands that are doing it themselves in the fashion space. And I think we're increasingly seeing more even outside of fashion, like Walmart is doing a pre-owned sales platform. And it's not only good for the environment, but it's good for, consumers who are facing tough times in times of inflation. If they don't want to go to private label, resale, refurbished items are another option. And it can keep really brands engaged with consumers, to acquire new consumers who might not be able to afford the new products, or the existing consumers who might be like struggling with price increases as well.
Definitely, we advocate for resale for so many reasons, all of the ones that Sky said. Plus, it's an extra revenue stream, right, for brands. And so it's a good space to be, and they have much more control over their brand. And, if they get, I don't know what ThreadUp does. If they get pants that have a tear in them, do they resell it or do they take it off the market? If you sell it through the actual brand, they usually try and refurbish it. And that's a whole different group of things that they're buying, a different bucket of resale, or they sell it almost as new.
Sure. Thank you for that insight. In the interest of time, we're going to keep going. So just to give the scores.
State the obvious.
Check. Where are we at with the...
Yeah, so checking the scoreboard, which is over there. There's a scoreboard set up in my office. We have Suzy is at 0. The other analysts, who are Suzy's team, are at 2.
0 to 2. Okay.
Thank you, Sky. We're going to say bye to you and bring on our next analyst.
Bye.
Thanks, Sky. There he is.
Blake, I'm going to let you win so that you're not embarrassed that you were the only one who didn't score.
We already have 2 points. Do I even need to be here?
No,
there's only one. You only have a chance to get 1 point back. We
really
already
going to
won.
see if you can, whether it's a clean sweep.
I was just I was the rubber match guy.
I'm going to let it be a clean sweep because I don't want Blake to be embarrassed.
Mm-hmm. I appreciate that because
that's my pleasure.
I'm very competitive and I care just so much about this ongoing rivalry about the podcast. But Marcus, I will say that when you get me my jar of mayonnaise, just let it be known that I only purchase the Hellmann's in the glass jar. not the
Yes.
plastic or the
I got you.
squeeze, because
Absolutely.
What if
it's
it
more
shatters?
elegant.
Mhm.
It's more elegant.
It's more elegant.
That's true.
It's more
Yeah, who
refined.
squeezes mayonnaise out of a plastic thing?
I don't
Maniacs.
squeeze, but I do the QP mayo. That's a squeeze.
Mm.
But the
Sorry,
And
Hellmann's
I would
do.
like
I got
chipotle
you.
mayo, please.
You're not winning. You're literally, there's no way you can possibly win. But I'm sure there's some at your local grocer. Okay, so let's introduce the person we've just been talking to for 5 minutes. Last and probably not, but arguably least, kidding Blake, of course, is friend of the Weekly Listen podcast and Reimagining Retail regular based out of New York. It's senior analyst Blake Drosh.
Hey, folks.
Hello.
Hey, Blake.
Okay, Blake, looking for the clean sweep here. Third and final question. It's about the metaverse. The metaverse isn't going anywhere anytime soon, even though excitement over its capabilities has stalled. Generally speaking, consumers are not sold on the idea of relying on developing AR and VR technology in their paths to purchase. And we, at Insider Intelligence, report that beauty, fashion, and home furnishing brands are the players with the most opportunity in augmented reality's infancy, which is great news for the projected 1.4 billion mobile AR users this year. And with constantly evolving mobile technology, it's not out of the question to think that with time, better phones with more efficient AR capabilities will allow mobile consumers to become more comfortable with AR and VR shopping tools. Your question is, how many US retail AR users will there be this year, 2023? So these are folks who experienced AR content at least once a month via any device while shopping in store or digitally, but not necessarily bought something. So how many US retail AR users will there be this year? It's in millions. Suzy, you're up. Don't think about it too hard. It really doesn't matter that much at all, to be honest. You can say literally anything.
I'm kind of embarrassed because I don't really know what to say. Who can tell me how many buyers we have digitally?
What do you mean, who can tell me? This is a question. What do you mean? We're looking for an answer. You can't ask your own question when I ask a question.
But that's a good, I like the thought process.
Well, I just want to know what's my base? I have no idea. I have no idea.
Your base is potential 330 million.
Yeah. Okay. So then I say 35 million.
35.
10% ish.
Okay, Blake.
You said 35 million.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's a really good answer, actually. I think it's probably got to be around that, but I'm gonna be a little bit more bullish on it. I'll go just above Suzy and say 46 million.
46.
Oh my gosh. Okay. Marcus, tell them the answer.
40 million. Blake,
Which
you're
means
1 million
Suzy
out.
got it.
Suzy gets the point. Oh.
Stop, Blake. I'm so sorry. I really wanted you to get it.
Suzy was 5 out. Blake was 6 out, but it's 40
Suzy got it by
million.
a million.
Wow.
First of all, I thought if you were over, you were out anyways.
That was in the rules.
I said so many times we're not doing Price is Right rules.
Yep.
Oh, thank you. You guys, but I actually didn't win.
Oh my God, who gave you that?
Gave you the belt. Put that down. Who gave you? Who?
Did someone just hand
My
you
friend.
Who
That's
was
what
that?
happens when you come
Annie?
to the office.
Who's back there? Lance? Unbelievable.
I got so excited.
Is this why I was
my
told I
ears fell
can't
out.
come to the
Stuart.
office?
It was probably good. You hand
Should
that
I put
to
it
Blake.
on for you all, or no? That's too
Absolutely
much.
not. Okay, so
Thanks, Stu.
quick question on this though before we tally up the scores, which will be a waste of time. So 40 million though, to you guys, is that something or nothing? Because 40 million, it seems like it's not nothing, but then you could also argue it's 12% of the US population.
No, it's definitely something. I think that the practical use cases for AR are certainly growing, and the ones that we mentioned, furniture, beauty, and apparel, I would actually list in that order, sort of in like they're very like. Take it from someone who lives in a studio apartment where I have to measure furniture before I purchase it, like very acutely. Having it is having those tools, they work. And I don't know if I would have said that even, 4 years ago. And I think that there is a slow but steady evolvement of the technology that is, lending itself as a very practical use case to other verticals. Do I think that we're there yet in terms of the technology in terms of it really helping someone find, let's say, the right fit or the right cut of pants? No, definitely not. But I think that, there is improvement, and I'd be curious. I'm not the core customer for beauty products, so I don't really know how well they work, but I would imagine that there is room for it to grow between furniture and tailored pants.
So, and you know what I would add to that, just a small extra in that not only is the technology better, but there are more brands doing it, so it's more widely available. And consumers, especially after COVID, who got used to doing things like QR codes and other sort of technologies that they maybe weren't super interested in before, but then didn't have the choice, now there's just more openness to trying new things if it's going to make your life easier. And really, like Blake said, the best use case is stuff in your home.
Yeah, I definitely agree on this. I'm very bullish on AR. I think that that's the metaverse thing we're going to see more of.
Quick tally of those final scores, Sarah, if you wouldn't mind.
Yeah, let me check my notes. I don't have
notes. You have a scoreboard.
I have in the envelope. I could open an envelope. That would be no. The score is. Oh yeah, on my scoreboard. Sorry, I'm doing inconsistent bits here.
That's okay.
The score is Suzy 1, Suzy's team 2, which means the winner goes to Suzy's colleagues.
Yes. Oh, there they are.
Congratulations
to the other.
Congratulations. I'm giving you the award, but I will hold it for you, not to worry.
Don't trust her. Don't trust her. Congratulations, though, to Zach, Sky, and Blake, the other folks.
Yeah,
Congrats,
thank you.
folks.
Yeah,
Marcus
Congrats to Zach and Sky for being the ones who won.
Yeah, put Blake on your shoulders and carried him to the finish line.
It's okay,
Suzy,
Blake.
unlucky Suzy.
Marcus owes each of you a jar of mayonnaise, which we totally discussed
Why am
before,
I
and I
footing the
didn't
bill for
volunteer
this?
him.
All right, fine.
All right, you can give them one that they can share
Okay.
in Illinois, Austin, and New York. All right. Well, that is the perfect way to end the day because that's all we have time for. So thanks so much to our contestants this afternoon, to Suzy, Zach, Sky, and Blake. You were all excellent competitors. A very special thank you to all of you out in the audience. I hope you enjoyed today as much as we did. And lastly, a huge thank you to our production crew. Seriously, huge thank you to our production crew and everyone behind the scenes for making this possible. We could not have done it without you.
Yes, indeed. Thank you so much to those folks. Thank you to everyone who decided to still pay attention this late in the day, right before the weekend. We really appreciate it. Just a reminder that all of today's sessions are already available on demand. Watch them again or share them with your colleagues. Also, please keep a lookout for a quick survey that you'll be receiving in your email today where you can share feedback about your experience at the summit. We truly appreciate your comments and we'll use them to make future events even better. We'll see you next time. Hopefully, have great weekends.
Speaking of future events, our next Attention Summit will take place this summer on June 2nd and focus on streaming and the new digital ad economy. We'll be sending out information on that very soon, so keep an eye out. And that is it. Thank you so much for joining us at our first live virtual summit of the year, and we hope to see you all next time. Have a great weekend.